Hello, welcome back to map guides for advances and clan wars. Today we will be doing Mali. Um, yeah, I mean this map it's pretty balanced. I don't think either side is better than the other really. I prefer the north side, but south is also very playable, and I I don't mind south at all. So yeah, let's just get into some key positions. Okay, first we will start off from north. Um, we'll start with C1. This is just used to spot this approach. It's normally used if you're playing hill. You put a tank, like after you see them not coming full hill, you go back with the tank to here to spot them, or your EBR, just to spot this push coming. Okay, next is C5. I'm sure most people have known this from randoms, but you're using this location in normally an EBR, and it just basically spots just everything here and on people coming off the hill. Obviously, it can help mid if there's a fight or someone pushing to mid for it, or there's a guy going under. But yeah, pretty simple. Okay, next is E7. You're basically using this, you just go under to this. Again, it's kind of similar to F5. You're using this basically to spot, well, just basically deny them any kind of quick cross. So they have to go through this, as well as you can kind of peek up and shoot anything that's on this ridge. They're very annoying to kill. You can be basically completely safe from here in the dip. So a very annoying position to kill. It also can shoot the back of this house, which is helpful for like breaking camps or if you're playing like a pushing across water kind of strat. Um, so yeah, a helpful position. Okay, next is F5. You are normally putting an I7 here, or a 260, can be a 277, but ideally an I7 because it just has the most health and impenetrable turret. It is basically used to cut off this rotation, so the enemy can no longer use this rotation. They have to go long way every single time. Um, he can like shoot people if they go under as well, or under. And he just provides a bit of vision. If as well you have pushed out this, like you've somehow got to here and you've maybe pushed this out, or like can spot this guy can then go to here, and then he can spot the crosses on water as well. So this is very powerful if you can spot this cross because it's just like they can't rotate anymore if they've gone full this side. So it's very good. Yeah, that's it. It one position from north is like K4 area. This is kind of used to basically spot this repush early. There's a little hole down here that you can use. Well, not a hole, I mean like a ridge line that you can use. You can even use it like a 279 angled up. Very can't pen it. I think you can hide in it with an I7 as well. And the idea is you spot this, and then if you can run away and try and get back to here. Next is J1, G1. It is also just used to spot across. Yeah, you're just using it to spot across the water, give a few shots, and then either you're fighting or you're staying, or running away. Okay, next is a spot for EBRs. You put an EBR into H2, H3 at the beginning of the game, and he gets kind of deep info on their base. He can spot like anything really in here, if it's not a light tank, basically. Um, and yeah, he's just gonna use to spot this early approach. He can spot through the window sometimes to see here, but and he can run away always in time when they push. So a very good position for an EBR. Okay, next is a position in A7. You're normally using this, or you should basically exclusively use this position in a 279. The idea is he basically counters the entirety of this ridge, and here, well, basically, like this entire area, basically. You cannot put a tank here without him being shot by the 279 here, which is obviously very powerful. He also is completely safe from hill. He's annoying to kill because he's on like high ground. The only real way to kill him is by going a tank under and just slowly chipping away at him. Or if you have, for some reason, you have like something with very good heat pen. I'm talking like 268 kind of heat pen. You can go like here, or maybe you just decide to shoot him back every time. So you just trade 1 for 1. But you can only go under him and then shoot into his cupolas or through his tracks sometimes. But yeah, he's a very annoying tank to kill. And yeah, a very good area denier. What am I yapping? Okay, next is south. We will start off with E3, which is this little dip here. You're using this if the enemy team is going kind of full hill, basically. And if you can quickly get it before they come back, you spot all their rotations. You can also use it to like push over into this. You can maybe put a tank here if they're camping as well. You might be able to spot something, but it's normally used if you've got a tank mid. You see them coming full hill, and this guy can go across to here and spot their whole rotation for you. Right, next is D6. So this little under bit here. Again, you're just kind of using this to go under and spot the rotation, as well as in randoms you can, if you get your light tank here, you spot basically everything. You kind of do the same in advances. If you can get a light tank here, you spot hill crosses. You can spot here. You spot their base. It's very helpful if you can get it. It might be blind fired, but yeah, a very helpful. I guess 2 locations. Right, next is E0. You're using this as kind of just like a hold. You can put an EBR here. You can put an I7 or kind of like most heavy tanks really, and you're just spotting the hill approach or them coming down from hill. As well as you can provide shots for mid a little bit. You can shoot this guy if he peeks up. You can give shots to this if he's peeking badly. And if you're here, you can also shoot the base. But you also get shot from base as well, so you need to be careful. But a good spotting location, basically. Right, next is J8. So this little dip here with the water. It is basically used again to basically spot the base. I prefer overusing this location because he's harder to kill. And you can't kill this guy unless you dump him. And if you dump him, a lot of things can shoot him or shoot you going into this dip. So very helpful. Right, next is K3. So this little area here. You're using this in, it can be a 279, it can be I7, and it's basically used to spot this without having an EBR in base, basically. So that's really it. It also forces them to commit 2 tanks to here, so they can't just YOLO past. So yeah. Right, next is K7. Just this little house or houses here. It's basically used to try and hold your base for as long as you can, and force them to commit something to kill you. Which hopefully you have some like two, like maybe 2 mediums or something in the back if you've gone full hill, to shoot them if they come for you. And yeah, he's used to also spot the base, so you know you can get shots from here or here on people that are capping. Right. We will start from north for strats. I will do something kind of different for this one. I will show you 2 strats, and then I will show you how to break the south camp, and then when I do south, I will show you how to break a north camp, just because this map is very camp heavy when it happens, and I prefer if you can beat camps, because fuck campers. So yeah, let's just start off from north. We'll do a hill strat. I don't know why I'm typing hill. So we will go with 4 I7s towards the hill. They need to take Grousers and Speed Gov. If you don't have I7s or you don't have people that will take that setup, just bring 260s or 277s instead. That is just kind of better. Right. Next for the windmill. Let me just. Okay, this is gonna get a bit odd, so I will just do this instead. So I will bring. Let's just bring 4 miners actually. Right. I'll just do this so it's easier to read. And I don't squish all the tanks together. Right. So that's 8. I will bring double EBR. One here, one here. Actually, we'll just bring him here. Right. And then the rest are 260s. How many do we have? So that's 10, so 5 260s, right? And the idea is pretty simple. You're going full hill at the start, and you're fighting. If they're coming hill, you fight. You have a big fuckfest, basically, and you know you hopefully kill them. The idea is you bring some Ninos and 260s. The Ninos have the DPM as well as a bit more with the 260s than the I7s. The I7s are just meant to hold for as long as they can and just provide shots on the outside of this. And you're just meant to put them in crossfire, obviously, and just fight this. If they strike it, you have to fight in the strike. I know it's painful, but they should also be doing the same. So you just have a big fight in 2 strikes, and hopefully you have the better focus fire, and you can kill them. You should not be playing far away. You should all be basically playing close on the corner and like on the right, and left side of this windmill, and you fight to the death basically. That's the very simple of if they're coming hill. If they're not coming hill, it gets a bit more complicated. It kind of depends on what you see. If you see some north pressure, south pressure across the water with a CBR. Obviously, you're sending stuff back. I would send like an IS-7 back or something. So, yeah, I mean, really, the EBR should actually do this run so you see if they're coming hill at the beginning. That's probably better, actually. But yeah, so I mean, you could even bring 3 EBRs if you wanted. So you bring an EBR hill for another 260. So you have 4 260s, 4 9Ls, 4 I7s. So you can push away the EBR, so you might not see your hill push. But yeah, I mean, it really depends on what the enemy team does. Obviously, you probably want to put a tank here. Probably want to put a tank here, and then you want to put like some 9Ls or something here. And then you kind of depending what you want to do. So your I7s are here, you have 4 9Ls, and then you have something, maybe 2 or 3 tanks on hill. Right. But yeah, it like really depends on what you see. If you see a lot coming across and they have mid, I would probably push down zero line. Um, if they're not full camping, I think zero line is viable. But if they're set up for it with tanks in here, then it'll be very painful. But I think defending your base is very easy. From north, you basically need one guy here and an EBR somewhere to basically spot the base. I mean, even a guy here can spot it, other than if an EBR goes into the cap, but you can spot any heavy tank or medium tank basically from here. So that's the idea of having a tank here, so he can reset the cap for you while you just go pressure their base. And then, yeah, you decide what you want to do. If they go push your base, obviously you go push into theirs, and you probably just have a cap race. And you probably split some more off to reset. I mean, you could even go like this. But yeah, a pretty simple strat. Right, so here is the next strat. This is a bit more of a splits kind of strat. But yeah, to start off with, you're having EBRs run here, basically, so you can see any info here that you might get. And also this guy is here to spot this cross, where your 390s are there to punish. They need to come here to punish, because if they're not here, they're not in render, basically, of this little cross, obviously, right? They need to be here, basically, to start shooting all the way, right? Other than that, these guys are aiming for this cross, with this, because people are sending a tank like this. If he drives badly, he goes on high ground, and you might be able to shoot him from here. You can bring 260s for this if you want. I just like my 7s because they're just nice and fat and have a lot of health. Just harder to fuck up in them. Basically, these can also be replaced with 60 GPs. Yeah, you can replace them with 6 GPs if you want. You can replace one with a mouse if you want, if you think the enemy team is camping. So you can use them later for a cap shield. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this I7 is just going under to do this, to shoot the back. You can take this guy out if you want. Like, you can just make him do this. If they're camping, this guy should probably just go across and do it, so you don't have two tanks stuck. But in most games, you can just do this as well. The CS is pushing the 279 up to this little rock that I explained about. He is just there to make sure the 279 gets in position in relatively good time, because after they nerf 279, it's a bit slow now, so I just use a CS to push him. If you wanted, you could remove the CS, but I think the CS is fine, because he also can just go back to A4 and he can shoot for the 279, and he can run away as well if they decide to push over the hill. And yeah, that's basically the opener. Afterwards, obviously it depends on what they're doing, but if they are playing kind of heavier normal, a heavy hill, or a lot of tanks going to hill, the idea is basically you send these two I7s over first, just to take the control away and to push away their EBR. These 9Os then rotate to this side. These I7s also rotate, and you just come across with basically all of this. This I7 obviously decides if he's going or not. Let's say in this scenario he is. The Hori probably just stays somewhere. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, the idea is basically to push their base with basically most of your team. Yeah, so idea is after you get here, if the enemy team has done nothing, you basically go push their base. You push across to these buildings. Just quicker. And maybe 190 crosses, but you need to remember to leave two tanks behind. These people are just ready if they are repushing their base. These people have crossfire, and obviously that's very nice to have. As well as these people can eventually, if they're camping, these people can eventually come across to these buildings and shoot people here. But yeah, if they're still like mostly hill, their reaction should be just to push over the hill, because they cannot get back in time. You might need this I7 to just drive like this to get the EBR out. And yeah, I forgot to mention you bring double EBR and you go put them on the cap. So you put double EBR on the cap, you have this building. Their only way to spot the cap now is a guy here or an EBR somewhere in this area. Yeah, the EBR will be somewhere in this, basically, to spot the cap. And yeah, you need to go basically clear it. If the EBRs get spotted here, he's probably closer to here, so you will have to probably sacrifice one to go clear him. If he's in this bush or this I7 just then just YOLOs to go kill him, or spot him, or make him leave. If there's a guy here, if there's like a tank here, you just need to go push him. Just go push him with 4. Make sure you kill him, and then you can maybe even get to here and start spotting people here and maybe people here, and you're basically a distraction. If they don't shoot these people going first, going across to here, they will just slowly get farmed as they go in, right? So, yeah, that's kind of the idea of the strat. You can, if you see nothing, let's just go back 1,000 times. Oh yeah, the Hori is basically, I bring a Hori. You don't need to bring a Hori if you don't want to. You can just replace them with another I7 or 260 or whatever. I just bring a Hori to just fuck anything that goes into this window. If it's a 279, 705A, IS7, you kind of just kill it. As well as it's helpful for camps as well, which is, I mean, that's why you put a guy in the building. And you can just help as well for sniping. You can replace him with a Sturb if you want as well, if you just value that mobility instead, which is very fine. But yeah, if the enemy team, you don't see them coming across this with a lot, you then basically can decide what you want to do. You can bring your 9-0s up with this I7, maybe you rotate also more I7s, and you just go take the hill with your tanks. I wouldn't recommend just sitting. I mean, obviously, these 9-0s, after they get their shots, they need to run away so they don't get caught, because they might put the tanks here and shoot them leaving. So they need to leave after they get their shots here. So, like, you can, like, if you want to sit and just do nothing, you would probably just sit like this, basically. I wouldn't recommend sitting. It can be broken, this kind of camp or sit, whatever. Right, so this is, I would say, a pretty basic camp on South Highway. I think South Mali camps are very easily broken myself. I just think you will eventually lose these kind of things if the enemy team has a brain. So I would not recommend camping ever. Also, you never learn anything. You learn that a camp works. Yippee do. So, yeah, the idea is, I'm just going to use this strat because this is the strat I mostly use as well. And the idea is, you get your 279 to here, you leave your CS on hill. You can decide if you want to leave more on hill if you want. Like, you can leave 2. I wouldn't leave any more than that. You can maybe like 3 max. If you for some reason think they're going to repush this, but most teams will never do that. So I would say 3 max, but probably just 2. And the idea is, it's kind of the same as this strat, but you're breaking it from south. So yeah, we'll keep the size 7 mid. He can do this sometimes and just spot the EBR. That's his whole job, but he can also go here at the start. So the idea is basically you go across and we just get our EBRs out. Again, it's very similar to the other strat. You just go across with most. I would keep your Hori and keep your 9-0s out. And yeah, you get across. The way you go across is like this. I'll just draw with an arrow, let's say. So you go like this, okay? The idea is you're using this windmill and this building in cover of this, so you do not get punished. You should never really be punished crossing this from here, ever. You might get shots from like here and here, but they have kind of baddish shots when they're here. So you should never lose a tank doing this cross. This camp, if there's not a guy here, this camp is incredibly easy to break. Because after you clear the CBR, they have no vision on their cap anymore. This guy, he will die from angles. He can't sit in the window because these people just go here and start shooting him and just look down on his upper plate and eventually kill him. The only real, like, he can't go back here because then he gets shot from this building here and they just go out here and shoot him. He can't go back here because you have this I7 here that can shoot him. So, and then here you don't even spot the cap anymore. So what are you doing? So if they have a guy here, it becomes a bit more complicated. The idea then is basically, again, you kind of have to clear the CBR at some point. You kind of have to figure out from where these people are being spotted. If they're permanently spotted here, obviously he's somewhere here. If they're not permanent, then he's probably either like back here or here. More than likely, most people just sit here. It's the very basic bush. So you can even blind fire it, right? If there's a guy here, you can YOLO him with EBR. If there's a guy here on a camp, you can very easily YOLO him. You just go through like these houses like this, so you get spotted really late, and you spot him, and then you dip out before these people get a chance to aim on you. And yeah, the idea is this 279, he is here to basically kind of just peek over and see if there's a guy here. He dies from out here. Like, you can shoot this man just about from like here. There you go, he's in 560, right? You can also do it from here. It's just a bit more risky getting to here. But if you can get your double 9-0 across to here, they can then start shooting this a little bit, as well as these people can also shoot this a little bit. If you have killed the CBR, and there's only one EBR, you can bring your EBR into this after this guy dies or he's backed off, and he can just go into the bush line and he spots anything close, and then he can just go through the bushes slowly and outspot everything because he's an EBR, right? And he basically spots their entire team, and after they lose this, they can no longer reset base, and you win. And they're forced into repushing this with like their Sturves and Leos or whatever they have sniping. But yeah, this guy is sort of a problem. If you want, I mean, it depends. Like, there is a bush in cap, so if you kill the CBR, you can just use the bush to block the vision in between you and him, and you can cap by that. You can make shields on the cap with whatever tank. That is why when I was doing this strat originally, you can make the I7s that are here into 60 DPs, just so they have a bit more height when hiding the EBR. If you know they're camping, I would just bring a mouse. He's still fine here. Like, it doesn't really affect it that much. Obviously, if they push across, you have to fight, or you have to decide you will lose that tank, or you decide to fight. But obviously depends if you can make it back in time or not. But yeah, you just can use a mouse, and then you just come across with a mouse, and he sits in the cap, makes a shield, and then your EPRs are completely safe, and no one can reset other than if they have artillery, and the artillery strike when using it when in advances. Obviously, that runs out, so you just go out the cap for 40 seconds, and then you can come back into the cap and cap out. So this side is very easily broken. This camp is very easily broken. IMO, if done correctly, as long as people don't fuck up, basically. But yeah, I mean, this guy obviously he kills this guy. As soon as this guy's dead, and you need to know the EBR, you just go fucking send it here. He's not really safe. These people have shots on him on his upper plate, so he will die here eventually. So yeah, you're just using him to spot if there's any EBRs here, and you can even just go sending it like this to see if there's an EBR in this bush. But yeah, that's how I would break this south camp. I think it's a very easy break, just because you can't really reset the space after this dies. And yeah, like I don't where you see how you stop it from happening. It's your choice if you want to use your EBR to do this, or him, or double EBR to be on the cap. I would always bring one EBR so he can cap. So you can use the bush in between you and the heavy, and you can cap. And yeah, if you have time to do this, I would just do this. If you see that lineup, you see 6 sturbs, you can guess they're camping, obviously. So you just go put your EBR here after you've cleared any EBR that are here. Just here, really. This EBR doesn't really do much. Obviously, he spots a push coming down, but he won't see any EBR like slowly going through the bushes. But yeah, that's how you break a south camp. Right, here is the first replay. I just thought I would show you this. I don't have the replay of this because the game updated, so I have to show you the just the video of it. But I thought this would be a very good example of the strat I showed you, basically because it kind of shows what the goal is. But this is against Reddit. They decide to go full hill, basically. And we hopefully punish them with a bit with our 9ers. I can't see because I'm out of render, obviously, but I would imagine we've given like 4 shots at least to this. Probably 8 because we have 4 9-0s. And yeah, they put a guy i7 in the window. It's kind of a reason I bring the Ho-Ri, because it can just kill an i7 in the window or kind of anything in the window. And yeah, afterwards I just rotate my 9ers over. I've already pushed my i7s over after I saw them going full hill. And yeah, now I have a lot of map control, and because this i7 is in the window, I just put my 907s in A4 because I can just chill for like a minute and a half just waiting to kill this guy because I'm under no pressure to do anything as of now. I may as well just get a free kill before I do anything. So yeah, I just bide my time here to shoot this guy. A good move from our i7 in the mid. As soon as there's nothing here to fight, you may as well just go to here. Just a better position, I would say, than this. So you can spot the rotations and also help for the base. So yeah, we just speeded this part up. Luckily, we catch their EBR here, which is very nice. I just don't think he saw Kushti going under, so it's quite nice. 279 gave him a shot, I think, and the EBR and the i7s, and these i7s here also shoots them. So nice, free EBR. And yeah, we're just slowly chipping away at this i7, firing some HE, and I just decided to strike him because I want to get it kind of quickly over with, so we can progress the game a little bit. If you don't have strike, I mean, I don't want to use strike on it. I mean, you can. You just be waiting like another, I don't know, like probably a minute, maybe 30 seconds to kill him. And yeah, now we just get ready to push their base basically because they haven't done anything. And yeah, so rotating all the 9-0s, leaving the CS to cover the 279. I bring my ABR as well. And yeah, we now just get ready to push across. Just waiting to group up. Take some time. And now where we go. And as you can see, kind of using the buildings to cover from K0. I don't think anything was there in this case, but always helpful to make sure. And so yeah, we take the buildings for now. It looks kind of dire, kind of, because if we just stayed here, we would die from out here. So we need to push out at least. So I tell people to do that, basically. And we just go dump this i7 or 260, sorry, so we can kill him. And we get our double EBR into the cap, and now they are kind of in a bad place because, I mean, good luck spotting our cap, basically. Need to YOLO their last remaining EBR to basically spot us. The strike, but we just move out of it. And yeah, it is a quite an easy game in the end. Matches of a 9 bided enough time for these people to just leave. Our CS run away. So even if they do spot me and minigun on the cap, our EBRs will be basically fully safe. Now we just focus the people coming here. This 260 and the EBR that will come. But we kept already, so yeah, game over. Okay, here's another game from North. This one is Dan FC. This one we are just going full hill. As soon as we see this I7 going across, like as soon as you see this I7 going here, you kind of have to be thinking that they're probably not playing hill, because if they're playing hill, there's not really a reason for a guy to be there. Really. But as soon as we see the I7s in the south, we know that they're obviously not playing the hill, and we rotate back. Yeah. Right. So, Dan decides to push 1-2 here, which like kind of makes sense. Like they see these 3 I7s on the hill, one would think they might rotate something back. Looking back on this, I think the better play here is to send 2 or 3 guys mid to kill this I7 here, to basically take this control again, and then you then can use this little position that I talked about in the key positions, like just here, and you can then spot up and spot the cross for your team. And now they're either trapped in 1-2, spotted, or they're stuck in 1-2, and if they want to rotate out, they're spotted doing so. Or if they want to rotate back, you shoot them. Or you see them going back, basically, or forward. After this, you can kind of be a bit more kind of like, I probably, again, would probably push that base. Probably after I get that J5 location, but you could also push 1-2 off of that. But yeah, we decided to push 1-2, which, you know, is fine. And basically, because we see these 2 9-0s and Hori, we kind of have to push the south because obviously there's nothing here, and we can just take the south, basically. Technically, I probably shouldn't have gone here. I probably should have stayed with Kushti and Kochka in this little hold down area. And then we can kind of just chill there, basically. Boyka has quite a very annoying location to dig out because we don't have any mid control or anything here, so he can just sit here and he's unkillable. But yeah, this 1-2 push will always be very painful. They could have not even fought here. They could have just fallen back to here to make you peek on them, and it becomes very, very painful if they have anything back here. I mean, I think we have 10 here, and they have 6, right? And we're 7k down because, like, we lost 3 for 7, basically, or 3 for 6, and we have 2 1-shots, 2 half healths, I don't know, like 3 1-shots, 2 half health, and 1 full health. So the trade is just not worth most of the time pushing 1-2 when they're this heavily stacked. If there's like 3 or 4, like maybe it becomes a lot more viable because you're pushing with your whole team. But yeah, I mean, as well here, our EBRs get killed. For some reason, our EBR in the south is just sitting in K0, and he gets caught for no reason. He could have ran away here, as well as this EBR. I think he just unfortunately gets caught when he's killing the other EBR. If we had the double EBR, this game could have maybe been playable. I think we're attacking in this game, which makes the chances a lot less that we win it. But if we were defending, we might have a little bit of a chance because we have double EBR alive, even though we're like 7k down. But if we can use our double EBR, we could win this. But obviously, since our EBRs die, we don't have enough health to do anything with. So the game is over, and we just say go die. Yeah. Things to take from this: 1-2 repushes are very painful if they're going to be set up for it. Retaking mid if you have E1 is quite possible to do, especially if they have a guy in F5 and a guy here. We can maybe pick up both these tanks, not for free, but we can pick up them tanks, and that's 2 tanks, kind of for not free, but we get them, and they're forced to do something, which is probably better for us. And yeah, so yeah, we'll go on to south. Okay, next is south. So for south, obviously again, I'll just do a simple hill strat. Basically the same lineup as last time. So 4 9-0s, 4 260s, and 4 I7s. Layer 12. From this side, I personally like to bring 3 EBLs. Kind of up to you where you want to put them. I would just double up on hill, just so you kill hill. The zebra and base obviously is just spotting this cross for you. If he spots stuff coming across, he runs away to probably either here, or if you can find a bush in base, that's also very good. But again, yeah, you're just fighting on the windmill. Just a little tip for this is while you're coming up, you should shoot this indestructible house. It just lets you get some earlier shots on them crossing late, if they are crossing late. Again, these I7s have to have browsers and speed gov, so they can just catch are on the same kind of speed level as these people. But yeah, again, you're just fighting on the windmill. You play close, you fight. You hope you have better crossfire. These I7s are shooting this the entire time. And these are double EBR. If base is not under threat, you're just jumping around and helping this as well. Again, if they're not playing hill, it becomes a bit more complicated. For this, I would put an I7 here. I would do this, probably, and then I would bring 2 9-0s back here. Right, so this, and then I'd probably keep double 9-0 and these 260s on the hill. You can also do this a little bit. I mean, technically what it should be is like this. Wait a minute. And yeah, the idea is you're ready for this kind of south break that I showed earlier. Your response to this will basically be pushing over the hill. Obviously, your BRs probably want one staying on the hill to spot them coming up, and then the other one is just chilling somewhere else. So you'd probably set up like this, if they're not coming hill. Then afterwards, yeah, if they're doing this kind of south play, you push off the hill, you kill the guy that's here. If there's a guy here, you also kill him. You then can decide if you want to keep on pushing their base or come back. Normally, you will be coming back. There's no really point in coming back to pushing their base, really, because you will just catch nothing and you'll have 3 tanks out of the game for like 30 seconds until they can start capping, and even then, you can just get resets for a bit anyway from places. So like you have to push all the way to here to stop them getting resets. So yeah, I would probably just come off the hill. I7's obviously first. You kill the guy that's on the rock here. If there's a guy on the church, you kill him. These 2 9-0s will then just swing to here. Maybe an I7 as well. And you can just do this, basically. Obviously, these double I7s depends on what you see. Maybe they do go to the base if their whole team is here or something. I don't know. But yeah, the idea is basically if they want to stop capping you, Obviously, they need to kill this guy, so you stop spotting, and they need to kill this guy. Also, a benefit of going here with I7s, you kill anything under. I should have mentioned that earlier. Yeah, they need to dump this guy if they want to get stop being spotted in the cap. Because as soon as you get this and this, you have good crossfire onto the cap, where you can get some good resets, where you have enough time to eventually bring. Maybe your EBR has cleared all the way like this and has got to like here, even. Maybe your I7 has even got to here. And then you just have permanent resets. Yeah. If they decide to go kill this guy immediately, you're in a bit more problems. But you have 3 BRs that you can sacrifice to get spots, to then get resets, and then eventually do something with. These 3-2-60s are here in a dip. Obviously, they're just supporting this I7 and shooting the cap. And they should be in relative cover if they decide to push this for some fucking reason. You just have good shots, and they're close enough to the cap to come back if they need to re-push this with the double niner. So you have at least 5 guys to get close enough to get spots on the base and reset if desperately needed. This will probably take like 10 seconds though, and you might get tracked, so you need to be a little worried about that. If they decide to do nothing, and you just... So they just decide to... I mean, they just go like across the water, they take this, and then they just sit. Yeah, then it's kind of just more of a 50-50 of what you want to push. If it is a split, probably pushing this is probably better, because you can abort if you want. It may be a bit late because they can repush the hill, but at least if you go like this, you get shot by like 6 guns. You're like, oh shit, there's a lot there. You can just turn, hopefully, and get away. Not saying that you will win, because they can repush the hill off of that. But if you're quick enough, you can then retake the hill and then get ready for their push up with all other your tanks. But if you kind of push that side off, I would bring a bit more. I'd bring double 260 and just hold like this, probably. I'll just leave them there. Yeah. Your EBRs at this point, if it is a stalemate, there's not really much they can do. The best thing is to stay alive. Probably just sit here and here. Yeah, if there's no one here, then you can be like get a tank to here maybe, but I wouldn't really, because it's always a danger. Then he gets like goes here, gets a guy here. It's a bit iffy to put a guy here. But yeah, that's it for this. Just got to remember, only pushing this side is normally better. But this is also doable. But if their team is, if they're like waiting to do the south play, and you push into it, you're gonna die, basically. You can bring tanks to here and just shoot them on the outside, but you will lose a lot of health for this cross, so you should lose. But at the end of the day, it will just be a 50-50 because you won't be able to get that info unless you can somehow get your EBR to spot this. But they will send 2 guys over to push away your EBR, so like you won't see what's across here anymore. So yeah, let's go to the next. Right, next is kind of a split strat from south. The idea of this strat is basically you open like a little bit to hill, so you can take the hill if they are doing like some full kind of like my kind of split, like of holding this and sending a 279 and CS to here, and Nino's punishing. You can get hill off of that, and then either they're forced into pushing this or they push across. And yeah, the idea is if they do push across, you punish them with all your I7s. You should really kill a tank for that. While that's happening, you probably pushed off the hill and killed the guy here. If you can get a guy here, then fantastic. This I7 can then go up to here, and you're chilling. Because then you'll have basically something like this. I mean, your 9-0s will probably come off the hill. You might want to leave one 9 on the hill just so they can't repush it. And then your double 9-0s come off the hill as well. and they're probably here as well, something like this. So now they pushed across. This I7 now spots their rotation, so they can no longer leave, and they're all stuck here. These I7s have obviously fallen back to this house, basically, and this stirve is probably relocated somewhere, but here is fine. But yeah, that's the opener. This stirve is basically here to support the mid. If this I7 gets peeked on, this stirve will help him and just slowly kill them if they do keep on, for some reason, keep on peeking into a stirve. You can put him like back here if you want, and replace him with a Hori if you want. You could do that, but I just prefer a stirve because it's Mali, bit more rotating kind of possibilities. And yeah, if they are going full hill, you hopefully see it early with the CBR. So these guys run away. The idea would be this I7 goes under. These 3 9s then go through mid. You could just go like this, go through mid with this other I7, basically, and you go push through. The stirve can come if he wants. He can come to more like here, and you push across with all your I7s, basically. And you can decide if you want to keep on going or you just stay here. It's kind of up to you. If you see that obviously the whole team going back, I mean, you can just punish for a bit and then just rotate some tanks back up the hill, and they're trapped here, right? And yeah, you're chilling. This I7 might even see their rotation. These guys definitely will if these people haven't been able to see you rotated across and gone across water. And yeah, it's kind of a winning position if you can take across and this before they're rotated in time back. Rotated back in time. Yeah, that's kind of like the 2 main ideas of the strat. Yeah, if they're doing some kind of hold like I was, and then they rotate to hill, again, it's kind of just the same. Since they push hill, you're pushing this. Obviously, they need to push hill with, I would say, at least 5. 4 is probably a bit too iffy to push hill with against what they may think is 4. Kind of depends if they see this or not. If not, then I don't know. They might just give you 2 free tanks and you just go kill them. So they need to push at least 5 up. Kill this group. Let's say they have double EBR, so that's 7. They have 8 tanks left. Normally they'll have a tank mid, so 7. So now you're 7 pushing into 7 maximum, and you will probably lose a tank going across. But the idea is if that happens, obviously I7s, they have a lot of health. They should be living. And then this 260 comes across. This stirve can come across. I mean, this stirve can also rotate to hill if you have enough time and people on hill want to reinforce it. And yeah, the idea is you're staying here, you're staying alive, you're basically kind of unpushable. Well, they can't obviously push it with 7. They will need like 10 probably to repush this, which is just not happening for ages. Obviously, depends on this fight. If you lose this fight, then obviously you will just be fighting and you're at a disadvantage, but you lost the hill, so that's just life. If you win the hill, this will just live and they can't repush it. So yeah, probably want to bring the EBRs probably to the north as well, honestly. And yeah, you just fight for the hill. If you lose it, you're pushing it. Well, yeah, you see how much is coming hill. If it's you can't fight it, then you push across. If it's too little, obviously you just fight on hill, and then you keep these tanks here. If it's kind of like 50-50, if it's like they're sending 5 tanks, then I would probably just stay on hill and fight while pushing this as well, because it may force them back, or might want them. It might make them rotate back with some, and then you win the fight on the hill. It really depends on how early you see it and how early you see that many tanks. Yeah, because there is a lot to think about, I guess, with this strat, but it is, I would say, pretty basic. as I said, how much is coming hill, how much is coming this, and yeah, you make up your mind what you want to do. Yeah, I will show you how to break a north camp now. Right, so let's get started on a camp. This is kind of like a normal-ish camp. There's kind of two kind of camps that enemy teams can do. They can either do this kind of a camp, or they can do this, basically. And they have like a tank here and two tanks here, right? Kind of the different kind of solutions. We will start with this kind of camp. If you can see that they're camping off lineup, you would kind of just send a few tanks hill, which is probably just this group. Just take the hill. After that, you kind of go, okay, they're camping, because this I7 and, sorry, you'll have an EBR in base. With this EBR, you can kind of see people here, especially and with the I7, and the I7 might get shot going here, and if he peeks, he also might get shot. So yeah, you can kind of tell how much is here. If you see that it's like 6 or 7 tanks, what you would do is probably just bring your I7 back. You leave double 9 on the hill, maybe even triple. It's kind of up to you, but I would bring double, or leave double on the hill. And then you have your EBR on the hill, spotting the approach. And the idea is very simple. You are going across with basically everything that you own. So you're going across with math 9, and you're fighting. This 907 can just come down to the thing. Stir can come here, and this EBR can do something else. I don't know. It's kind of up to what you want to do with this EBR. He shouldn't go clear this bush. Yeah, it's another thing. This EBR should not clear this ever. There's no point. Like, the CBR should always be running away, so you will never see it coming, or never catch a CBR if he's smart. And even if you do send this guy, you should trade 1 for 1, so there is no point. You should only go across with the EBR after this is dead or this is pushed away. Anyway, yeah, the idea is basically you're fighting with better numbers, because obviously they will have tanks out here, especially if they have like double stuff and like double 279 or something. You will be able to see that they will have tanks out here. And yeah, you just go fight the weaker group with all of your team, basically. And yeah, you should just win this fight because you have crossfire angles and this. If it's like a 15-minute game, and for some reason they haven't taken this, you can put a tank here and he just farms all of this for you as well, because it's in range, right? Just but yeah, that's what I would do against this kind of like holding this with a lot. I mean, some people even do like something like this, basically. So they just have all their team here ready to fight you. But again, I think you will just win on positions eventually. Like, you will just eventually win on positions because you have that crossfire in the back where it can shoot the little turrets now and again. So yeah, if they are doing the kind of camp ready for an A-line push, I haven't really fought in many Mali camps like this, but it's the kind of same kind of principle. I mean, if they don't have anything here, you just go take it, basically. Simple as. You can just send some of your team across. You take it. You take this control. You take this control. If you have something with good enough heat pen, you can start going here and killing this guy in the church. As I said before, if you also have very good pen, you can go here and start shooting the 279. I think you can even go. It's in range. Yeah, I mean, if you can somehow get all the way to here, you can still kill the 279 as well. But yeah, the idea with this is obviously you take hill again. Let's just get it right. Like this. Again, you probably want to go under with a tank just to start fighting this guy. I would strike this guy myself just to bleed him of 1,000 hit points, and you can slowly kill him even with HE from even this I7, and maybe the Sturv even goes here with HE. And yeah, you need to kill this guy so you can get this control. And after, this guy's dead. Let's say these guys are dead, or they've been pushed, or they're just sitting here. You will just have it. You'll have all this control. You'll have your 260 here. You can shoot up at the house or the guy that's here. You probably have double 9 on the hill, and this. Maybe even have your Sturv as well coming close. In this camp, they might not even have one guy here. So they have something like this even. And yeah, you can take like this with an I7 if you want. And the next objective is basically to kill this guy. After you've killed this guy, you can push off this if you want. Personally, the next step for you is probably rotating out. You leave like 2, let's say. Let's say the 260 because you want this heat pen down there. You want your 6 I7s out with your 9-0, double 9-0 even, maybe even triple, really. And you just leave the Sturv here. After you've killed this guy, they have this. You probably want to go hill at the start with this. Your EBR goes clears. Okay, so 1 EBR is going to clear this guy. You can kind of base off where you're being spotted and whatever. The next EBR is kind of like 100 meters behind him. So if he clears this EBR, he dies. The other EBR is ready to instantly take the bush line off the enemy. So the enemy EBR can't get back in time to help this EBR or spot this for them. So like you'll have this EBR dead, this EBR will be dead, let's say, and this EBR now is in these bushes, and he outspots all of this, so he can push them back. And you can start farming them from different angles. Obviously, you can go under with some more like this. I7 is always here to basically spot this repush if it happens. And now you can just start farming these people that are here. At this point, the game is kind of over, and you decide basically push in. Yeah, and again, you just take your full team with the Sturv covering, and you go kill this group and get into this little dip here, so you're safe from these people. And yeah, you just go kill them because you have hopefully more tanks. If any of the tanks are low health, obviously they don't come. They can just sit on the church or here. And yeah, you should win off of that. I would never push A line, ever really. Ever really, until you've cleared out the enemy EBR and this location and this. Like, you can peek on this guy. If there's this guy here, obviously you kill him first, and then if there's a guy in this church and you can't kill him from down here, you can decide to peek on him with your team, with like one guy peeking first. He takes all the damage, then the 3-9ers are here just getting like they should get. I mean, in total they should get 2 shots each, so 6 shots plus the I7 maybe, and he should eventually hopefully die. You might even get a tank to here to shoot him in his back if he decides to turn this way, but he is safe from here if he goes all the way forward. So yeah, north I would say is the harder camp to break, but as soon as you see anything here, I would immediately get ready for this push and hold the hill myself. If there's nothing here, then take it and then go push A line basically. Yeah, that's how I would break it. I'll show you now some replays. Right, here's a game from south. But yeah, this is kind of a strat I showed to you in the strats section, I guess. Yeah, openers hill obviously. I went hill with 2 I7s because I saw their 5-9ers and decided I wanted to bring 5 tanks to the hill, just in case we need them. And here they push up the hill, or push up to the hill with double 60p and double I7. Yeah, I sent a 60 TP here just to trial out the 60 TP, but he got absolutely fucked crossing, basically. So I will just continue to use an I7 here. 60 TP can work here, but you kind of need the enemy team not to be ready to punish him. I also shouldn't have gone here, really. It's kind of pointless. But yeah, they try and push up the hill. I thought there would be more behind it, so I tell this group, or I tell my hill to run away, and then I tell this group to push. The I7 that was here was not peaking, so I get quite a nasty surprise that all their I7s, or two of their I7s and all their 9s are here. And I can't, obviously we're out of render, but obviously you can see that these people are not in good positions for this push. It's a very I don't know what to describe it. Like, it's well called by the FC on the enemy team. At the same time, I should have seen this push in H1, so that would have been cool. But yeah, it's quite a good strat. Like, they're just kind of baiting on A7 that we're coming hill, and then they push across because I would imagine they saw our tanks go. I don't know. I think I talked about this in the video. You'll see it in the video. I upload this advance. I think it goes out in like 26th of July, I think. But I was thinking it is kind of a weird rotation because the only things they see going hill are me, Kushti in the 260, and that's it. They see two tanks going hill and they push across, which is a bit odd. But yeah, I mean, I also go hill with double EBR thinking I'm going to catch out one of their EBRs, but their EBR doesn't go there, so that's kind of unfortunate. But, if I have an EBR in base, I always see this push across. But yeah, and it's kind of over, as you can see. Like, we are, 8k down, so yeah, the game is over, and they have all positions. But yeah, you can kind of see that, like, I guess a split kind of strat is quite powerful, because you bait them to leave the hill, and then you push across at the same time, and they're never in time to rotate to help. So yeah, but yeah, as you can see, this strat is not gonna win every game, but this was got a good counter, I guess, from them, especially us not seeing any of the anything on J1 or G1. That's why you probably have an EBR in base, to make sure you see that spot early enough. It wasn't really a good option here. I could push into that group of tanks in A7, but it is double 60 DP with, I think, 3 IS7s. Was it double? I think it's double. So four tanks, I think. And that is, no, it's 3 IS7s, sorry. And I have 5 on hill, so I probably don't win that. So it was quite a good split from the enemy team. I guess they thought my Ninos were going hill, so they just guessed, and they guessed correctly. So yeah, it's a good game from the enemy team. Not really much. I don't think I could have really done much here. Honestly, my only option was pushing 5 into 5, and they have more health. So I don't know if that would have worked, but yeah. We'll go on to South then, or to the next replay. Right, here is another replay from South. This is a video that should be out, or maybe will be coming out soon. It's against, I think it's already out, actually, thinking about it. It's against Reses. But yeah, this is kind of like a strat I've shown you, but I replaced double or triple niner with double CS because I just wanted to try it out. obviously, you can see here that the stirb is working because their double tank cannot kill my IS-7 because the stirb is covering them. Yeah, I keep committing hill because I thought it might just be more or only the CS and I7 coming hill, but let me see double 9-0. So obviously I turn around because it could be more 9-0s. It could be one more 9-0 unspotted. So I could have 3, and that's not a fight I wanted to take. So obviously, like I said, in the strat, I run away and I push out the south. Yeah. And as we can see, that is currently happening. As it turns out, I think they had a lot more on hill than I originally thought. I should not have stayed here with the IS-7. Spotless gets caught in EBR, and they push off the hill with, what was that, 5, right? Yeah, the EBR, very nice. Right. Also, I should say, for this, when they are doing this push, what we should do is either turn like this. I didn't turn like this. Because they had a guy under, and I thought that would be too much. I mean, they have 3 here, I have 4 going into 3. I don't think I win this if I do that. So the other idea I could do basically is you run away completely. You do not leave an I7 here, you leave an EBR here. And you basically run away all the way to the corner with the CS, the mediums, and the I7. The IS-7 gets a hold down from one of the medium tanks, so he's basically unkillable from the 0 line, and the only way you can kill him is from wide, like where the stirb is currently. And they're forced to push all the way down the 0 line. Hopefully, while your other medium are in on this little ridge with the CS and the stirb, and then you can slowly just kill them, I guess. Because obviously, as you can see, like we're not down a lot of health right now, but we will lose the other I7 and we will lose Kushti soon enough. So if we had Kushti making a shield for Buddy, I think we'd be in a lot better scenario. And as you can see, I mean, it's really not going amazing, the push in the 0 line for them, even though we Kushti died early and we have Buddy living just. If they're in if they're in the correct positions, I think we do a lot better here. We probably wouldn't lose Buddy here, and he's in the corner the whole time, and they are forced to do something about it. And yeah, at the same time that's happening, we obviously push the 1 line, we catch whatever is there. You could say we should just turn around at this point and go back for our own base. I just thought it'd take too long, IMO, and the enemy team would just regain the positions anyway. So I think it's too slow and wouldn't work. Really, we should have the Sturv in K0 as well, because if he's in K0, good luck killing many things. Or killing him, because you need to send the EBR all the way down. And hopefully you kill the EBR before he gets to K0 and the Sturv is completely farming. Yeah, we end up obviously losing this because South eventually dies, and they basically have C5, so we can never cap, basically, and they have the guy under the base that also spots it, so we will never cap, so we lose. I think this game could have gone a lot better if I called the correct positions with what I wanted. Obviously, my lineup has kind of changed now, but if I have like the 990 and IS-7 going north, one of the 990s will make a hold down for an IS-7, and the Sturv is also in the corner, and then we have double 90 with the C with whatever we the other nino, or like two ninos, yeah, two ninos would be like where the stirve is, and the CS. Oh fuck, well, would be have this double nino here, and would have one nino here with a stirve and I7. So therefore, sort of pushing all the way down, and we have better shots from here. For this strat, like you can replace one of the 260 or the 260 that I have in this pack of I7s for a stirve instead. Also works for sure, because I mean, if they do this push and you get both stirves into K0, yeah, you have to push all the way down, and if they do that, then hopefully you're gonna win or kill the EBR before he gets there, and then the stirves just farm everything that goes down zero line. But yeah, unfortunately, I get caught, or I stay when I shouldn't have stayed. I think Buddy gets. I mean, Buddy doesn't get caught, to be fair. Kushti does get shot, or get spotted. If we have enough time to knock down all the trees and stuff, Kushti probably wouldn't be spotted so early. Because, like, I think he dies. I think the EBR just spots him. Yeah, Kushti shoots him, but gets spotted in return. And if he lives, I think we live, or we do a lot better here. But the main problem was, I guess, that and losing mid quite badly. Yeah, not a bad game. Can learn things from this. So, yeah, on to South.